Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you a really easy, really quick recipe that is completely fall. It is pumpkin spice cake donuts. My daughter loves those little Intamin donuts, the pumpkin donuts that they have, but they're kind of expensive, like $4 for a little package of those donuts. So I found a recipe to make them at home, and these turn out perfect every single time. So you're gonna need a donut pan. I have this silicone one, and make sure that it is sprayed really good with some non-stick spray. This one I got from Walmart, but it was pricey. I paid like $13 and some change for this, and now I'm mad at myself because I checked on Amazon and they have an even bigger one that can make like either 18 or 24 mini donuts for only $6.99, or you can buy a 3-pack that makes the regular size donuts for like $9.99. But I will have those linked for you guys, and so you can go into Amazon and order them through my affiliate link if you want. It just helps me out and helps with my YouTube channel. If you're watching on TikTok, I do have a YouTube channel if you want to go to the link in my bio and subscribe from there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I guess now I can announce that we are now on TikTok for the channel. So you can watch us over there too for shorter videos. But this is 1 box of cake mix. I'm using pumpkin cake mix. You could also use spice cake mix. If you're using pumpkin cake mix, pick up some pumpkin pie spice to add to it, just for some extra flavor. 3/4 of a cup of canned pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, just the regular pumpkin. 3 tablespoons of melted butter. It's down inside there if you can't see. And 2 eggs. That's all that goes into the mix itself. And then I'm going to be showing you how we're going to make a glaze to go on top. The other alternative is to brush the tops with melted butter at the end and then toss them into cinnamon sugar. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and mix up our dough. All right, so 2 eggs. Now my package of pumpkin cake mix. 3 tablespoons melted butter, 3/4 of a cup of canned pumpkin, and then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of that pumpkin pie spice. Alright, so once it is mixed, this is what it should look like. It's going to be a little bit thick and a little bit lighter in color. So now I'm going to use a piping bag. If you don't have one of these, just use a Ziploc bag. It works just as well. We're going to put this batter into this piping bag, and we're going to pipe it into those little donut, what do you call them? Molds, donut molds that we have in our silicone pan. As you can see, it's thick, like it does not come off the spatula, so you're gonna have to kind of work to get it down into that bag. And if you fill these little molds that are in your pan about halfway, you should be able to get 24 donuts out of this mix, because my pan holds 12. As long as you do them halfway, I can get 2 pans out of it. So 24 donuts. You're talking only the cost of a cake mix, which is a little over $1. 2 eggs out of a dozen. Right now, Walmart's cage-free eggs that I buy are down to like $2.97. Might even be less than that for a dozen of eggs. So only 2 out of there. And then 3 tablespoons of butter. You're coming in probably right at $2 or less than $2 for these 24 donuts, which is a really, really good deal. So now we're just piping these in here into a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for, let me look at my recipe card here, anywhere from about 12 to 15 minutes. It depends on your oven and how quick they're baking. I check mine at 12, but they usually take 15. And then you pull them out of the oven. You're going to let them sit for 5 minutes inside of this mold to cool down a little bit, because if you flip them out as soon as they come out, they'll fall apart. So let them sit for about 5 minutes and then turn them out onto an actual wire rack, and they only take about 10 minutes to cool completely through so that you can dip them. So I'm going to finish filling these, and then we're going to pop them in the oven, and I'm going to come back whenever they come out. So like I said, we're going to be making a glaze for these donuts because that's the way that my daughter wants them, instead of just tossed in the cinnamon sugar. So I needed powdered sugar to make glaze, because your glaze is always just going to be powdered sugar and a little bit of milk or water added to it. And I was out, so I went to Walmart, and why is it $2.18 for a bag of Great Value brand powdered sugar? Now that used to be 98 cents. Even at my Hy-Vee the other day, it was only $1.98, which is still high, but I was not paying $2.18 for a little bag of powdered sugar. So I'm going to show you how to make your own at home because it's super easy. And it's cheaper, actually, so I think I might just start making my own. So for a big old thing of cornstarch, it's only like $1 or something, and I had this already in my cabinet, and I already had granulated sugar. Granulated sugar is about the same price as that little bag of powdered sugar, only you get 4 or 5 pounds in a bag of granulated. So the ratio is 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Now you are going to need a food processor or a blender to do this. So I'm using my food processor. You're just going to dump that sugar and then your tablespoon of cornstarch right in with it. And you're going to run it on high until everything is completely just pulverized. It's going to be a nice light fluffy powder. It should not be gritty anymore. And that's how you make your own powdered sugar. Super easy, and it's actually cheaper. Okay, so I lied. I had to switch to my blender. I've got something going on with my food processor. For some reason, it's not wanting to sit flush on its base like it's supposed to. So I just used my blender. It's nothing fancy. It's just like a $20 Hamilton Beach blender. But I started on the grind setting until it started getting powdery, and then I switched it over to the puree setting. And I let this run for probably a good 5 minutes straight. Woo! Powder, and you can see down in there, that's what it looks like now. So we have homemade powdered sugar for our glaze, and our 12 minutes is up on our donuts. Sorry, so I'm gonna take you over here and show you. So this is what they look like when they came out of the oven. I tested them with a toothpick. Nothing came off on the middle, so they're gonna sit for 5 minutes in this pan. That way they don't fall apart when we flip them. And then when that 5 minutes is up, we're going to move them right over here to this wire rack and then let them cool completely. And then we're going to dip them in some glaze. So now we're going to mix up our glaze. I put like 2/3 of a cup of that powdered sugar in here. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of milk, probably like 1 teaspoon at a time, until we get a nice thick glaze consistency. Probably another teaspoon there. All right, so we should be at about the right consistency. When you pull it up, it just kind of drips in chunks off of your whisk. That's about what you want. Then I'm just going to take a pinch of that pumpkin pie spice just for a little extra and put that in the glaze itself. And another thing you could do if you want it to be like extra pumpkin spice is you could mix your powdered sugar with some pumpkin spice coffee creamer instead of with regular milk. That would work just as well. Alright, so I'm going to bring our little donuts over here, dump them out onto our trays, and I think I actually am going to dump these while they're warm and let that glaze melt onto them instead of waiting until they cool completely. Alright, so we're going to flip them out. They should pop right out onto this tray. And they did. So now we're going to dunk them in our glaze. and then sit them back onto this wire rack. You also could probably take a silicone brush and brush this glaze on if it's easier. All right, turn that off. Thanks so much for watching. If you try this recipe and like it, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing and giving this video a like. And if you would like to support the channel via donation, you can do so through the QR code above for Buy Me a Coffee or through the links below. Also, you can shop that silicone donut pan through the Amazon affiliate link below.